Well, oh my goodness. When I tell y'all, I am not having the best of times when it comes to the technology part of this stuff. In any event, Kim Shaw, People Champion here, live on StreamYard, live on Facebook, live on LinkedIn, live on YouTube. I hope you are getting my broadcast right now, but I am live here coming to bring to you some great information on self leadership. I thank you for tuning in. I appreciate you for tuning in, and hopefully, you will be able to glean some information that I've created and put together to share with you guys on self leadership. First and foremost, happy holidays, happy Hanukkah, happy Kwanzaa, Merry Christmas, and all that good stuff. I do have on my red today, so I can actually like be in the festive mood. So again, thank you so much for tuning in. And I was having a couple of, what do you call those, challenges when it comes to the technology, but I believe I have overcome those challenges. And I do want to come at you live and share with you some of the things that I know and that I'm so near and dear to when it comes to self leadership. So, again, thank you so much for tuning in. And I appreciate your time and taking your time to tune in to what I have to share with you today. So, self leadership. What is self leadership? Again, thank you again. My name is Kim C. Shaw, and I am the proud owner and CEO of Inspiring You Leadership Enrichment Solutions. And I've been in the business for quite a while right now, and I am working through some technology challenges right now, and we will get through them. I promise you, we will. So when I talk about self leadership, what I want to share with you guys in terms of self leadership is understanding what it is. I'm not talking about today leading others. I'm not talking about ensuring that you are the leader, you're being a leader. First and foremost, you have to understand what it takes to lead yourself. I'm working through some, oh my gosh, this is crazy. I'm really having some technical difficulties right now, and I am going to work through these, even if I have to work through these live. Something that's really interesting that I'm going to call right now to the surface is the fact that we are human and we have human challenges and things that we need to work through from a humanistic perspective. So, I'm just going to jump into what I know about self leadership. We're to know that self leadership is choosing who we are, what we do, and who we become. It doesn't advocate like for a selfish type of approach to get what we want at any cost. We lead others, but we have to first and foremost lead ourselves. I'm a total advocate of that. If I cannot lead myself first and foremost, I cannot expect anyone to follow me. I cannot expect anyone to say, hey, Kim Shaw, People Champion, is the one that I want to lead, I want to follow because she has it all together. This is something that we work through daily, in day and out day. We work through leading ourselves daily. Self leadership recognizes that things don't always come easy. And when I say things that don't always come easy, I can tell you first and foremost, they don't. I left corporate America on June the 29th of 2019, and I have been working through making it on my own and putting myself out there and putting my business out there and putting what I have to offer to you guys out there since then. Has it been easy? Of course not. Am I going to cut corners and do things and say things that I know that are not going to be beneficial to those that I want to support? Of course not. Self-leadership recognizes that things do not always come easily, but that our environment is created through us, through me, making the changes and creating those opportunities and circumstances that I know are going to afford me the opportunity to move forward. The world, and its resiliency on technology, like this whole StreamYard and Facebook Live and LinkedIn Live and all these great things that I'm going, that I'm live on. It's an interdependent economy, interestingly enough, that we're kind of starting to rely on these things. And me being a baby boomer and trying to work through all that stuff is challenging. It's quickly become a place that leverages knowledge, meaning the things that we learn can become obsolete very quickly. So if you're not on it, if you're not in it to win it, then you can kind of get left behind. What remains is consciousness that we have to manage ourselves effectively. I have to manage myself within the complexities and ongoing evolution in order to overcome those obstacles, to renew and refresh myself, and to fully participate in my own life. So I have these here. These are my pom-poms. I love my pom-poms. When I was in corporate, I used to use my pom-poms to cheer my team on, to say, guys, you got this. You are the biggest champions in your game. I'm your champion. I'm here to push you forward, to move you on. All right, let's go. So when I talk about self-leadership is not about managing others. It's not about what you do for other people. It's about you. Although self-leaders make great managers, of course, and leaders, yes, again, like I shared previously, you have to be a self-manager. You have to know how to manage yourself prior to being able to manage others. This means that this series that I'm bringing to you today, and hopefully I'm going to have several, I've planned, I actually planned at like 10 modules of this series. This is series 1, episode 1 of self-leadership. It's not going to be focused on leading other people. It's going to be focused on leading yourself. In a typical look at external leadership, our leaders or our managers give us directions. They set expectations. They tell us what's going to be due, what we have coming due, and so forth. But if we are consultative leaders or managers within ourselves, we may ask, how can we look at that work? You within yourself is asking, how can you look at that work? What are you going to do? How are you going to do? You kind of come before that and work on that prior to somebody else telling you what to do, while you're still defining that end result and what that end result is going to be. As self-leaders, we scan that whole environment. We recognize what we could be doing, and we just do it, right? This is a great time for us to think about those things that we're going to be doing. So there are 4 pillars of self-leadership that I'm going to be bringing to you within this series, and hopefully you're going to be able to come back and share some of your own experiences with me, because I'm looking forward to that. I like interaction. It's this whole thing about like being live. Yes, I can't talk to you guys. I can't kind of see what you're saying. I can't hear what you're saying because I'm by myself, but it's okay. There's 4 pillars. 4 pillars. Knowing who we are, knowing who you are, okay? Those 4 pillars of self-leadership. Who are you? That is, what do you believe in? What's important to you? What are your goals? I do have some exercises that I incorporated into this course or this kind of live, so we can kind of work through these together. But that's the first one. The second one is knowing what you do. What kind of behaviors do you have regarding what you do? Are you consistent every day? Are you plugging forward every day? What are your motivations? What's motivating you to keep doing what it is that you're doing? What your passion is, how you lead yourself, how you guide yourself. The next one is knowing what we need to learn. Do we actually know what it is that we're still missing? What it is that we need to learn to kind of continue to grow? Anybody who knows me knows that I'm fully transparent. I'm 57 years old. I say I'm 57 years young because I'm still growing. I still have a lot to learn. Knowing what it is that I need to learn. That's me working to identify my learning points. Although I have a lot to offer others that are up and coming, those emerging leaders and those accomplished leaders that have already been there, done that, but still have a lot to learn, I'm continuing to grow myself. I have a learning plan that I set up to ensure that I'm going to continue to move forward and continue to grow in my learning plan and continue to grow in my life. The next one is, this is the fourth one, using what I know. That's you, using what you know. So you have so many things that you've grown on and you're built upon and you're using what you know, building successful habits to support the remaining three pillars that I just talked about. Building those habits. How do you build those habits? Creating your environment for success. I believe this is going to be an amazing series, and I want you all to kind of jot down some things. Like I said, thank you again for joining me. I know I had some hiccups in the beginning, but I do plan on coming live to you each and every week to share our journey in self-leadership. What I'm asking you to do right now, I want to make some connections with you. I want you to define for yourself 3 attributes for each of those pillars that I just shared for you. And those pillars are, number 1, knowing who we are, knowing who you are. Write down 3 attributes for that pillar. Who are you? Write that down. And in this one, when I come back to you next week, we can kind of reflect on that. The next one is knowing what you do. What is it that you do? What is it that defines you as to who you are? 3 attributes. This one is going to be the most interesting one, I believe. Knowing what you need to learn. I can help you with that. That's what I do. That's what I do for a living, guys. Knowing what you need to learn. Are there some things within you and some things that you have already identified that you need to learn and you don't know where to go? You know within yourself you need to learn these things, and you know that these things are going to help you move to the next level within your journey of self-leadership, within your journey of just moving towards the next level in your life. 3 attributes, 3 different things that you know that you need to learn. And then my favorite, using what you know. There's some things that you already know and you got down to a science. Are you using them? What are the 3 things? If you write them down, we can work through them and talk about whether you're using them effectively or if there's some different things that you can actually work on and use them accordingly. So I am in the session right now. Yes. Oh, I got some folks. Listen, I am working on this technology thing. I do know what I know, but one of the things that I'm going to be clear about is saying that I'm working through the technology thing. And I thank you guys so much for being here with me and being supportive and understanding that we're working through this together. So, going back to defining what I said self-leadership is. Self-leadership is the 3 things that we talk about. Knowing who you are. Who are you? Who are you in this whole world of self-leadership? Knowing what you do. What is it that you do that makes you great? What is it that you do can help other people? Okay? Jot those things down, because once we go right into the next level, you're going to feed off of those things that you just shared, that you just wrote down, that you know within yourself. This is a growth thing. Knowing what we need to learn. We as adults, and this is one of the things that I think I valued most as being a facilitator and a trainer in my years, is that adults bring so much to the table. We have our whole experience as adults that we bring to the table when it comes to learning, when it comes to experience. So when you are thinking about those things that you need to learn, you're focusing on some of the stuff that you've probably already had life experience with, but that you can use some book knowledge or some theoretical knowledge to marry the two together to implement and apply them to get the results that you're looking for. So knowing what you need to learn is an important part of self-leadership. And then the last one is using what you know. There's some things that you already have, that you have built, that you know, and you got this down to a science. From an entrepreneurial perspective, there's so many of us out there that are just kind of jumping in, and with this COVID thing that's hit us so intently, that has hurt us as a country, as a nation, as a world, as the entire world, that people are thinking further about what they want to do to contribute, how they can build themselves, and how they can add value to the world. Using what you know. Using what you know to help others. Using what you know to build on what you've done previously. I thank you guys for joining me. And I promise you, from a technological perspective, I'm looking at the screen right now and I'm working through all this other great stuff. And I really appreciate you for tuning in today. And I will be back next week. And I will be back to share additional information with you. Like I said, this is a journey. This is not something that we're doing just one day. This is not a one-off, but this is a journey. For us to lead ourselves effectively, sometimes we need some support. I'm here to help you. I'm here to get you on your journey to self-leadership. And I thank you once again for tuning in. I appreciate you all. I value your input. Thank you again for tuning in. And it's been about 20 minutes. And I keep these short because I know adults have a short attention span. I'm not going to be here all day, every day with you guys, but I do appreciate you tuning in. And I thank you so much. Please drop me a line at kim@inspiringyou.world. That's my email address. If you're interested in additional trainings and learnings and the different things that I have to offer, it is www.inspiringyou.world to learn more about what Inspiring You has to offer. I am your people champion. And you see I have my pom-poms here. And like I shared previously, I believe in cheering on your people, guys. Your people are your foundation. Cheer on your people. www.inspiringyou.world to learn more about what I do have to offer in terms of leadership, coaching, development, personal development, professional development. I appreciate you all for tuning in. You have an amazing Christmas, and I will see you soon on the journey to self-leadership. Thanks so much.